Look what we've got here. Is this your puppy?
Yeah.
Do we love our puppy?
Yeah.
Yeah, we love Zeke? Yeah. Guess what? I love you.
No.
Yeah, I do, silly girl. Sit. Good boy. Come. Sit. Sit. Shake. Good boy. Good boy. Hey guys, what's up? My name is Cori and welcome back to my channel. Thank you guys so much for tuning in for another video. I'm super excited to have you. Today we're gonna be doing something a little bit different. You guys have seen me put on makeup, you've seen me go through Houston's baby clothes, and you've even seen me eat. But today we are gonna be doing a Cooking with Cori segment. I'm super excited to share this with you guys because one of my greatest passions in life is cooking and baking and anything of that sort. And so I figured what better way to share with you guys than here on YouTube. And today I'm gonna be doing a new recipe, so hopefully Houston and Brandon both like them. 99% of the time they like all of my creations. However, there have been a couple misses, so hopefully this isn't one of them. I'm gonna be making meatballs, and first you're going to start off with a pound of hamburger. Any kind of ground beef will do. I believe this is 80-20, so 80% lean, 20% fat, and I feel like that's the best fat ratio for meat because it just makes them super juicy and tender and everything that a meatball should be. We're going to start off with our pound of hamburger. Next, we are going to take an egg, just one large egg. This is going to bind all of the meatballs together and make sure that they stay firm and not fall apart when you start to cook them. So you're going to add this to your meat. I have a variety of different spices that I am going to use today. So I'm going to be using sea salt in my grinder. However, you can use normal table salt and that will work just fine too. And then just black pepper. So I'm gonna go ahead and add that to my meat. One thing you guys are gonna learn about me is that I don't measure anything. Usually I'll try out a recipe and just kind of get the sense of how much is good. So I'm just going to add until I think it's a good amount of pepper, and same with salt. I'm not going to add too much of the salt because I do have a lot of other seasonings and some of them have salt in them. So you do want to be careful when you're adding your salt when you have other seasonings because a lot of them contain salt as it is and you don't want to over season because nobody likes the salty meatball. So the next thing I'm gonna add are red pepper flakes. You can find them at your local grocery store in the Hispanic aisle usually. That's where we get ours. I'm not gonna add too much red pepper flake because it can be spicy, and so I'm gonna add just enough to give it a little kick. The next thing that I'm going to add is some onion powder. Onion powder really brings out the natural flavors in any type of meat, but especially red meats. And I find with ground beef in particular, it really brings out that meaty flavor. And so I love to add onion powder on top of fresh onions in my red meat, whether I'm making a meatloaf or meatballs or chili or anything like that, just because it gives it a really nice flavor. The next thing we're gonna add is parsley flakes. I feel like parsley flakes add just a subtle hint of something, and I do add a generous amount in there because I love parsley. The next thing I'm going to add is garlic powder. Now, I'm only gonna add a little bit of this because I am going to add fresh garlic next. So some minced garlic. I like to cheat and use the minced garlic because it saves you a lot of time, and I hate the way that garlic sticks to your hands and gives you that like really stinky smell. So I'm just going to get a plastic spoon, and about 3/4 of that spoon I'm going to use to put garlic. We love garlic in our house, and so we use quite a bit in all of our recipes. Now, if you don't like garlic, you can definitely take the garlic down a little bit, but we used about 3/4 of a spoon. Then we're going to take some garlic salt. Lowry's garlic salt is the garlic salt. I'm trying to get it to focus, there we go. I will not use any other garlic salt unless I absolutely have to and I have no choice. But if I have Lowry's on hand, I will definitely use this all the time. We're actually running out, so I'm gonna have to get some. Next, I am going to take half of an onion, a fresh onion. I already have some cut up for this video because I didn't want to be touching my camera with my onion hands, and so I've got some, except I just touched it now. So I'm gonna add some onion. Like I said before, onion really brings out that meaty flavor in the beef, and so I love to add it whenever I'm making a meat recipe. So this is what our bowl looks like. We've got all of our ingredients in there. And now with clean hands, of course, I washed my hands prior to the video, we're going to mush all this together and make some meatballs. One thing to watch out for is that if your meat has been in the fridge mostly all day, it's going to be super cold. However, what I like to do is let my meat sit out about an hour before I use it. So that way it's not super cold to the touch and you can really get in there and mix all of the seasonings and all of the ingredients together to make sure that the meat tastes super yummy. You don't want to work your meat too much because it will start to fall apart. So about, I would say 30 seconds after mixing it, I would go ahead and let it rest and then continue on. Now that all of our ingredients are mixed together with our meat, we are going to go ahead and we are going to form some meatballs. What I have going right now on my stove is just a large pan with some olive oil at the bottom, and I'm going to place my meatballs directly into the pan so that they can start browning on the outside. I do have my oven going already, set for 400 degrees because I'm going to throw my meatballs into the oven after I brown them on the skillet. Ooh, look at those bad boys. Look at them sizzle. So I'm just gonna brown them on each side and get them prepared for the oven. I'm gonna be using just a medium-sized pan like this to get them started baking in, and then after that we are going to make our sauce. All right, so my meatballs have been browned mostly on every side. I do like to leave a little bit of red so that way they are still pretty moist in the center while they're baking. I don't want them to dry out too much, and so because I'm going to be baking them for a decent amount of time, I do leave some red in there just to keep them moist. Then we're gonna go ahead and cover these with foil and pop them into our stove at 400 degrees. One thing I forgot to mention is that we are going to bake these at 400 degrees for 20 minutes. I am going to actually stop them halfway through and put the sauce on so they can bake with the sauce and get really yummy. All right guys, so now that my meatballs are in the oven, we are going to go ahead and focus on the sauce. So I know I said I was gonna do a honey sriracha sauce, but I just looked in my cabinet and I realized I didn't have honey. So we are going to be using agave instead, which is pretty similar to honey and it's just a little bit lower in like a sugar content. And so we're gonna be using that today. To make our sauce, we're going to be using sriracha, of course. I like to use this sriracha. If you are a sriracha eater, you know that this is the only sriracha, this. So we're gonna be using sriracha. We're going to be using some organic blue agave in place of our honey. We're going to be using a little bit of ketchup. We're going to be using some garlic, some minced garlic, and because Brandon likes things a little bit spicy, we are going to add some of this chili garlic sauce. So I figured it would go pretty nicely with all the rest of the ingredients. So again, I'm not measuring anything out. I'm just going to squirt some ketchup in here. I would say this is roughly about 1/4 cup of ketchup. And then I'm going to add some sriracha to that. Say about maybe 1/4 cup of that. I'm going to add some of the agave, about 1/4 cup of that. I'm going to take a spoonful of my garlic. I would say maybe about 1/2 spoonful of garlic. And then I am going to take about a spoonful of my garlic chili sauce and add that in there. Hopefully, this comes out great. If I had barbecue sauce, I would throw that in there, but that's kind of why I threw the ketchup, because I feel like it'll give it a sweet yet tangy flavor. I didn't have any barbecue sauce, so I'm not going to use that, but I figured this might be good. This is a concoction that I'm coming up with all on my own, and so if it's nasty, I guess I could always start over. Let's see. It's actually pretty good. And I'm not just saying that because I made it. I think I'm gonna add a little bit more ketchup just to counteract some of that spice. But other than that, it's pretty tasty. So once I take my meatballs out, I'll show you guys how I glaze them. All right guys, so we have covered the meatballs. I had just enough sauce to cover each meatball. If you have extra, that's perfectly okay because you could use it for dipping. But I just kind of covered the tops with a spoonful of the sauce on each meatball. And now I'm gonna pop them back in the oven and let them cook for 10 more minutes. All right guys, so I have some water boiling. Like I said, I'm just gonna make some brown rice to serve my meatballs over top of. I'm using the Success boil in a bag rice just because it's easier and I don't really want to spend too much time cooking rice. And I like this brown rice a little bit better than I like minute brown rice or even brown rice that you have to cook for like ever. This takes about 8 to 10 minutes. And all you do is take the bag and submerge it in boiling water. About 4 cups of boiling water, and just take a fork and just poke it in there. Get it all nice and saturated and let this cook for 8 to 10 minutes. So I'm gonna let that cook, and then by the time this is done, our meatballs will also be done and we will be ready to eat. All right guys, so here is the finished product. I just made some corn to throw on the side, but here are our meatballs looking all cooked and delicious. The sauce kind of looks like pasta sauce, but it's not. Don't mind the styrofoam plates. This mama does not like to do that many dishes, so that's why we got some styrofoam plates going on. But I'm gonna serve this up to Brandon, see how he likes it, and then I will give you guys a report. All right guys, so we are finished with dinner. As you can see, there's some completely empty plates. Mine's completely empty. It's not really an accurate representation because I am a little biased towards my own cooking, so we will ask the man himself. So babe, what did you think? And be completely honest.
It was really good. Not usually a big fan of brown rice, but you seasoned it really good and it went really good with the meatballs. That sauce that you made to put on top of the meatballs was really good. And I liked everything that you had made.
Would you say that this is something that you'd want to eat again?
Definitely.
Oh, is it good?
Maybe with a little bit more sauce on top of the meatballs, because that sauce was awesome that you had made. So, but definitely, I want to eat this again.
Cool, cool. What about you, Houston? You want to eat it again?
Yeah.
Houston didn't actually get any meatballs. She just ate some brown rice and corn. But did mommy make good brown rice and corn?
Yeah.
Thanks, babe.
More.
You want more? Well, guess what? You got some more right there. All right, guys, so that was my new segment, Cooking with Cori. I hope you guys enjoyed that little tutorial. It seems like Brandon enjoyed the meatballs. There are a couple things that I will probably change in the recipe. So once I'm able to play around with it a little bit more, I'll go ahead and update you guys on that. Also, did you guys notice anything different about this video? If you did, sound off below in the comments and let me know what you think it is. If not, then I will go ahead and I will reveal in my next video what the difference is. But thank you guys for watching. It means so much to me that you guys take the time out of your day to watch my videos, like my videos, and to all of my subscribers. Thank you guys so much. I really do appreciate your love and support, and we will see you guys in the next video. Bye.